when we think about showing up as our best selves to serve and add value to our customers, it starts with belief. It starts in belief in what we do and how we do it, but it's also belief in our ability to continue to evolve. You've done this incredibly well over the last year. When we think about evolving, I have to tell you a story about an athlete that I represented for almost 20 years. A guy that maybe you've heard of, a guy by the name of John Smoltz. So some of you might know, John was, of course, a right-handed pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, right? So John was the guy that would step out on the mound right at the beginning of games and throw hard, sit guys down. He was a starter, so he would throw 80 or 90 pitches, right? And then 4 or 5 days later, John would do that again. And then 4 or 5 days later, he'd do it again. That was his rhythm and his routine, and he was really good, right? All-star games, Cy Youngs, all that. So I'm sitting in my office one day and the phone rings, and it's the general manager of the Atlanta Braves. He said, "Hey, Molly, we kind of have a unique situation." I said, "What's that?" He said, "We don't have anybody next season that we think can close for us." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "There's nobody that we want to bring up from the minor league system that can stand the pressure of a closer." Right? He said, "There's nobody we want to trade for, and there's nobody on the free agent market that we want to go pay. Do you mind doing me a favor? Can you talk to John about whether he'd consider stepping into this closer role just for us for next season?" Wow, now here's the guy that steps out on the mound at the end of games, right? He sits in a whole different spot during games in the bullpen. He sometimes would get up and warm up and go in, and sometimes not. Totally different role, big change. So I hang up the phone, I do a little bit of research on my own, and I call John. And I said, "Look, man, I just got a really interesting phone call." And I walk him through it. I said, "John, there's nobody in the minor league system that you can put into that role." I said, "There's nobody they want to trade for, and there's nobody on the free agent market that they want to go pay." I said, "Hey, what do you think? They want to know if you'll step into this closer role." And John and I talk about it for a good bit. He hangs up. He says, "Look, let me get my head around this, right? This would be a big change." I said, "I get it." 3 days later, he comes up to the office on his way to the park. He sits down in my office and he says, "Look, Molly, this whole closer thing, this whole thing, here's the thing, Molly." He said, "Bobby, the manager of the team," he said, "Bobby Cox, he needs me to do it." He said, "These 24 other guys in this dugout, they need me to do it. Heck," he said, "this community needs me to do it. These fans need me to do it." He said, "I want to do it." John stepped into the role of closer the following season and led the National League in saves. John not just went into the Hall of Fame as not just one of the best starters, right, to ever pitch in the bigs, but one of the best closers. One of the things I saw over and over again with the best of the best is they leaned into change. They leaned into discomfort. They leaned into, at some level, that pit that we sometimes get, don't we, in our stomach, inside of change. Because you know what they found? Is the person that came out the other side of it was a little bit better version of the person that stepped in. Here's the thing, the world is changing, isn't it? It's changing for us, it's changing for the people that we serve. At some level, we have to reimagine how we show up, how we serve, how we solve our customers' challenges, their needs. Certainly, one of the things I saw over and over again with peak performers is this mindset. This mindset of, I haven't arrived. I haven't arrived. Always digging, always eager, always uncovering ways to evolve to get better.